Welcome Team Win. Ithaca here from Soaring Hammer. We're going to do a little video for you all today. Alright, you have a very important project coming up with Dutch, and I'm going to try to give you all a little bit of advice on and some suggestions. Okay, that's all they are. There are other videos you can watch out there on smoothon.com and on YouTube all day long. But I'm going to give you some pointers on what we would do. This is not to insult anybody's intelligence, so please forgive me if I dumb it down too much. I just don't know when to stop. But today we're going to use the buck helmet as an example. I know you're all doing a Dutch, which is going to be very close to the buck. This helmet is compliments of Rube. Alright, so thank you, Rube, for sending that down. Alright, so the first thing we get into is a list of items that you're going to need. Okay, I'm going to try to work a little bit fast. This is going to be a long video. Okay, some of the items you're going to need. You would definitely need some 110 cardstock. Okay, 110 cardstock. You'll need tin foil. Okay, you'll need various nuts, bolts, and washers. You'll need fiberglass cloth. Fiberglass cloth, not the mat. You'll need your resin, whichever resin you prefer, along with the appropriate hardener for it. You'll need standard cups, small mixing bowls or large mixing bowls. Okay. You'll need your paint stirrers. You'll need your release agent, whether you buy it directly or you use a petroleum jelly as a release agent. You will need your scissors. Okay. Hot glue gun. About 10 to 20 of these cheap paint brushes from Walmart. Measuring devices based off of
2-inch.
It can vary, but we use a 2-inch. Thank you, though. You're right. We use a 2-inch. Okay. Various measuring devices based on the measurements of your resin. Okay. It's very important for fiberglass that you measure correctly. A chisel. It's very stupid on why you're going to need it, but you'll see. Chisel. Some oil-based clay. And honey, am I missing anything? Of course, whichever you prefer, your dragon skin quick, your rebound, whatever you're using. You also need your helmet, and you'll need a mounting device. What we use is a standard head you get from a beauty salon, some pipe fittings from Home Depot or Lowe's, and a wood base to mount it, to screw it all on, bolt it all on. And it sits on there, and it goes on there. I've also used, my wife don't like it, I've also used the tripod for the camera to set it up on there too. And you're also going to need, one last thing, is a chair with some cushioning on it, some type of covering that you can set the helmet on in different angles. Alright, and I'm getting to why. Once you have all your supplies rounded up, and there's some various little things in between you're going to need, pliers and screwdrivers and little things I'm not going to, rubber gloves, ventilation, all that stuff. Okay, you need all that too, but you already know all that. Alright, primarily the thing we're going to do first is prep the helmet, getting ready for the mold. When I prep the helmet, two things I'm looking for as far as the claying goes, because the claying is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm looking for deep cutbacks, like the Booster had, up into the visor, and I'm also looking for any open areas, like gaps between the visor. You'll take your oil-based clay, and you will stuff it into all the open areas, and then smooth it out with your fingers or with the appropriate tools. And any types of cutbacks or any alterations, like let's say you want to extend the chin down, or you want to add a piece of detail to the helmet, you can do it with the oil-based clay. So that's pretty much it for blocking off the visor area. But you're all going from the Bondo phase, so you already got all that closed off anyway. So kind of avoid or nix what I was just telling you. But so next step now is going to be to build the neck down. I like to build, I have built the neck in. There's two different variations. One, you could use your clay, and you could actually build further in with clay to build the neck in. That gives you a smaller area to pour plastic in once your mold is complete. So I like to build the neck down. And the way I do that is I take the 110 cardstock and I just stick 110 cardstock in, and I hot glue it around the edge, all around this edge, and it holds it in place. And that's called building the neck down. So it looks like that. And then once all of this is rounded off with paper, you run some hot glue around the edges too. and you created a neck, an overflow for your helmet. So when you come down, when you're molding and you come down with the plastic, or you're casting on the plastic, it'll drip down your excess rubber and not all over the floor. So that's preparation of the helmet. Now you have the neck built down, you have all your clay work done. You're going to make sure if you've used any paint on your helmet, you're going to end it with the Krylon clear coat. Nothing else. No primer, no other companies. It'll be Krylon clear coat due to sulfur mixed in with the paint. That comes straight from Rick at Reynolds. Okay, it's experience. All right. Now what you're going to do is you have if you all look at this, you all know the hardest area to capture your details. Where? The front. People used to do, and people still do, is they'll put their helmet on and they'll start brushing on a thin coat of the dragon skin off the top and let it pour on down. The problem is with the cutbacks, you got to tuck it up underneath the visor and all this detail up inside, and you get a lot of air bubbles because even that thin layer starts to drip out. Okay, so in your first batch, when you have your first batch of dragon skin ready to go, number one, it's going to be a thin coat. Number two, have your cups ready because the excess dragon skin you've left over or your rubber you've left over, you're going to make these handy little keys by pouring it into here, and that's just the base of the cup. You're going to create 7 of these keys. Whenever I do a helmet, I request 7 keys. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. On a 6 and one each side. Okay? So you build your keys. So after your first batch is done, your keys are done. They're ready for you. Ready to go. Okay? What I'm going to recommend is don't leave it on this thing to do your first coat. Your initial coat, you're going to take it off, you're going to set it on your chair, and you're going to set it just like this. Okay? Paper coming out like this. And you're going to put your first thin coat right here on the face. Nothing else. Do your best to catch up any of the stuff going down the sides. Because if it's going into the sides, it's going over your detail, not in your detail. So do the face first with a very thin coat. Then you're going to do your second coat. Your second coat can be thicker. Once your first coat dries, get it quick because it dries faster. Your second coat goes on, right on the front. And that should cover up all this front area, capturing all the detail of your front. Once that's done, you're ready to go to the next side. Now this is it's got a slight tackiness to it. I wait until it's fully cured. 75 minutes and fully cured. So I touch it, it's good to go. Flip over on the side. Okay, now what I'm looking for on the side is I'm looking for any rubber that went into the detail but didn't go in all the way. If it did not go in all the way, get a very small razor blade, which is on the list that I did not mention. Get a very small X-Acto knife razor blade and cut that rubber off of there. Be very careful to pull all the rubber up off the helmet, but do a slice and cut that rubber off of that detail. If it's not all the way filled in the first time, it's not going to be the second time. You need air in there. You need to have open. You need to have to keep it open. Alright, so now that you have this all trimmed up on the sides, your first coat, very thin, make sure it's in those details. Take this little razor or a little pin, pop all your air bubbles, keep that going, keep going, keep going, alright? Make sure you use toothpicks too, really good to get inside the details, alright? Same, repeat step 2, the second batch, alright? Then, same thing on the back. Not a whole lot of detail on the back of these helmets, but you're going to do the same thing on the back method, okay? Then you're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Clean up, and then reapply, coat 1 thin, coat 2 thicker. Hold on, little man. Now, if you attend to him, he's just playful. Now, once your 4 corners are done, I call it the 4 corners. Once your 4 corners are done, up to the second coat, now you can take it and you can put it on top of your head. Now you're going to put 2 coats starting on the top, and you're going to let it pour down over the sides and attach itself to the other 4 sides you've already done. Latex will stick to latex. Do not worry about it. Okay? You're going to do a light coat, capturing all this line detail. Alright? Once that dries, you're going to pour a second coat and just let it all come down onto the other coats. My wife is looking at me really strange.
You said latex.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, latex, silicone-based rubber.